Yeah, you never know. We're going to see how it goes. mTw, they have the option first ban, first pick on blue side, and Shen going to be out from the get-go. Do not want him in top lane. Do not want him in the jungle either. He's out of here.
Yeah, so we'll see what kind of stuff they tend to run. Already being banned out. Mandatory Cloud, just a strong all-around player. I would probably ban out TF if I was Curse. Mandatory Cloud's TF can be really strong at times. It's been a pretty common ban against him, for a while now, but they have a lot of options open.
Yeah, Curse, I can understand the Ahri ban also because it is kind of what a lot of part of what shut them down in their game 2 against Dynamic. And, clearly if FTW's been probably doing their homework, they've probably been watching the stream while they're playing. It's like, what can we use? What are they weak against? What are they having a rough time dealing with today? But still more bans coming out. Karth is being banned out. Rise being banned out. A lot of mid bans here, actually.
Yeah, so it's, Mandatory Cloud and Nijak, you're both really strong mid laners. They're, some of the best in the game, can match up against anyone. So I don't know. We'll have to see what kind of comps they're running, but there's definitely a little bit of fear there. Urgot is still available, so we'll see. Balls, he does play some Urgot. They ban out Malphite.
Yep.
So, number of options left. Alistar is still open. Muffin Cutie plays a ton of Alistar. So I'm sure they would probably be happy to first pick Alistar if it's open. It is open. We'll see if they grab that.
So yeah,
they could also grab it. Nocturne as well,
yep.
or Nautilus. Or
and no one's taking Soraka out today, really. Like,
yeah.
And she's been, hasn't really been, hasn't been. It was banned out actually game 1, mTw and Dynamic, but from that point on, just like no one's really. I don't know. I guess no one really wants to take her on a date today. I guess she's a little bit lonely, but. Nocturne going to be the first pick for mTw. There's the Urgot and the Alistar.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think I'm expecting that Alistar to actually be in the jungle, actually.
It's kind of a tough call. Yeah, Alistar could be in the jungle. Urgot can pair well with any support, but you're right. It is kind of a wonky lane to have an Urgot Alistar. But, by taking the Nocturne, they leave 2 really strong champions open for Curse. So we'll see how they kind of deal with that. They are going to go with the Nunu, though. So Nunu and Vayne, that's definitely going to be a strong lane team. They have, it's very similar to the Misfortune, as we'd said previously. Having the Silver Bolts so you can just, get that fast Wriggles potentially will work very well. They could actually, Curse could go with the Soraka here. So we'll see what they end up doing. Taric would work as well. I think the Soraka would probably make a little bit more sense because they can harass them down and beat them down. Sona, actually. So Sona, they're going with kind of an AoE team with the Orianna as well.
Nice. And, Sona's not the most widely used support, but she's still amazing. That aura is going to make her Urgot's Acid Hunter hurt even more so, especially against someone's very squishy like Vayne, if she manages to get caught, which hopefully that's not going to be the case. Orianna?
There are a number of really strong champions still left open.
Like, absolutely.
Kennen, they could use Kennen for a little bit more control.
Cassiopeia is open. Cassiopeia is actually really, really effing good. Not to mention that this is, once again, a very good objective-taking team. Cassiopeia, amazing at taking Dragon. Vayne, Wriggles, not too uncommon.
Yeah, that's true.
Nunu, Consume, plus Nocturne with the Wriggles as well. So that's going to be
all 4 of them.
Really fast.
Yeah, so it should be pretty interesting. And the nice thing with Cassiopeia is it gives them a little bit more control to protect Vayne. So, if Vayne starts getting to town, starts farming very well, then they have the Nunu, they have the Cassiopeia, and they have the Darius. All 3 of them can, help protect her a little bit.
Got Cassiopeia, Darius. So mTw, their team is decided here. Well, what do we still need on Curse? We still need a top laner.
I would probably consider Aurelia, but if they could, Vladimir would work too, give them a little bit of AoE. The issue with Aurelia would combo very well with the Orianna, and Aurelia does well against Darius. Which, that would both help their team, and then Aurelia could also dive Vayne in fights. The issue is that they have a very low damage team right now, and there's not a lot of synergy for their team. So it's kind of weird. I think that because they have Orianna and Alistar and Sona, they kind of need to continue a little bit with that AoE damage, just to make sure that they have enough damage to take people down, because right now they have a pretty low damage team. Jax actually. So, Jax, with the shields and whatnot, he will be very tanky. They have the Urgot. Jax and Urgot is always a nice combo because you have 2 really tanky DPSers.
Jax top lane, granted, he's still gonna acquire Hemorrhage Stacks top lane against Darius. I mean, Counter Strike can only do so much, but still though, those long fights really do tend to drag on, and not to mention too, once Jax hits 6, he's going to start doing significantly more damage. He's going to have the ultimate. He's going to have the active. He's going to be a little bit more tanky top lane, and I don't think it would be too uncommon to actually see him build a little bit tanky himself even.
Yeah, I mean, they do have a very tanky team, and that's, one thing that is nice about Orianna is that she is kind of a support AP champion. She, works well in small fights. You can become unkillable with someone like Jax comboed with Orianna. It's a really nice combo, being able to shield Jax. He leaps in on top of Vayne, then you ult Vayne, and the ult, it wouldn't be broken by the cleanse, and so, Alistar could follow up as well. So really quickly, they could use it to burst down someone like Vayne or Cassiopeia, both of them. So it is kind of a nice combo if they can work that.
Yep, but there's a nice little whirlwind of death that MTW actually has going for him right now, because it is very close range, it is very up close and personal. You got Nunu, who can just ult everyone, be a huge disrupting force, and Darius, though, the longer these fights go on, the more of a threat he's going to be. And if Curse, they are going to be building tanky these fights. If Curse is actually going to die, it's going to take a while. So Darius is going to be helping out immensely in that aspect.
Yeah, so we'll see. Darius versus Jax is always an interesting matchup because it can snowball so fast in either direction. If either of them get an early advantage, they can just easily beat the other in the 1v1 situations. So that tends to mean you're going to want to see an early jungle presence. Both Alistar and Nocturne want to get up there and not allow the other lane to get an early advantage. So we'll see if that's the case here.
I was thinking other options to go top lane with Darius, because I know there are still, sometimes I'll see in solo queue there's a lot of people who still are very afraid of Darius still even now. Like, I'm trying to think of other options. Like
what do you mean?
I don't know, like just other, like, Jackson Darius is going to be a pretty good lane to watch anyway, for great potential for snowball in either area. But I'm trying to think of like other suggestions people out there could be using for champs that are good against Darius.
Oh, against. Okay.
Yeah,
that's I wasn't sure what you were asking. Yeah, I mean, anyone with the thing is, Darius loses lane just in a safe lane aspect to most champions, like or most strong top laners. So like Kayle can harass Darius, Jax, he can beat Darius up in 1v1s. A number of champions can do very well. The issue is that Darius, if he gets any sort of early advantage, then he has so much kill potential to just take someone from full to zero. So like someone like Kayle, for instance, Kayle is short attack range, so Darius is always going to be able to get the pull whenever Kayle tries to get some damage off. So that's an issue. However, Kayle has the shield and has a heal, which helps counteract some of Darius's burst. Aurelia does very well against Darius because of the heal. As long as you keep yourself at full health, then Darius never really gets a situation where he can pick off those kills. Malphite does well against Darius, though Darius can do very well against Malphite as well. I don't know. It's just that you need to play defensively and then just wait for killing opportunities, because he doesn't have a good means of escaping. He only has offensive play. And then later in the game, really against Darius, the thought isn't, I'm going to beat Darius in lane. The thought is, I'm not going to feed him, and then later in the game, he's going to lose in team fights because we have, CC and whatnot. We have a high CC team, and Darius doesn't really have a lot of damage. So when you compare Darius with a lot of other champions, they have a lot more front-loaded damage, whereas Darius, he needs to wait for people to die in order to snowball a fight, and it's a really difficult situation against certain teams. Like a tanky team, Darius can struggle against because he's running around and he doesn't have anyone to hit with his ultimate.
Yeah, but then there is kind of like a different skill set involved too. If you're an aspiring top lane player too, it's not so much winning the lane. It's not so much getting kills, and there really is a lot of skill involved into just not dying. Really.
Yeah, no, that's the best thing you can do as a top lane is farm and not die, which is why Malphite is, partially so strong. He's really strong late game, and he can shut down a lot of people, but, I mean, he can farm and not die against most people. Vladimir is one of the strongest champions late game, and Vlad can, generally speaking, farm and not die.
Yeah. So just waiting to get on into this game. Come on, game, load. You can do it. We got the overlay ready for you. Come on.
That's fine. We'll
wait.
We'll wait.
We'll wait. Come on. Summoner's Rift. I think we need to reboot Summoner's Rift. I don't know.
Just give it a kick. Just kick
Just
the
get,
computer a
I am
little
not.
bit.
No, we remember what happened. Remember what happened last time you kicked the computer?
Yeah, I do remember what happened last time.
That was not the most pleasant of scenarios. But here we are. Oh, okay, that's why there was a pause as we were getting in. So, yeah, right off the get go. But yeah. So,
Holy tits, it's done.
oh god.
Well, we'll have to see. It should be pretty interesting. Alistar in the jungle versus Nocturne. You know, Alistar is a little bit more aggressive with ganking. The level 2 ganks, Cassiopeia is someone that could be kind of vulnerable. Orianna can follow up, you know, with the decent damage. Top could be vulnerable as well. Nocturne, you know, is a little bit faster of a clear. I think, I don't know, I think the big thing to watch out for Xmithie is just not allow top lane to get an advantage from Alistar. So Alistar will probably look for a quick gank mid and a quick gank top as well.
Yep. So it looks like there's a little bit of a coordination issue, a little bit of a voice chat issue right now for mTw, but hopefully everything should be worked out in just a moment as well. So there is Vayne kind of fell out of favor for a while. And, you know, granted, yes, this is actually a pretty amazing combo bot lane to have the Nunu with the Vayne. She's that much more mobile. She can go ahead and, you know, just zoom around bot lane, really. But why is it that Vayne kind of fell out of favor for a while?
I mean, she's just a really hard champ to use. And there was a period of time, Vayne, I think a lot of people expected Vayne to become like the new most played champion in the game when Caitlyn and Ashe and, you know, Kog'Maw were all banned together. It was just this like massive banning week where they banned, or sorry, not banned, where they were all nerfed together. It was this big nerf week, not ban, big nerf week where Riot nerfed a number of the top AD carries in order to, you know, reduce their movement speed and such stuff like that, and damage output. But Vayne was untouched, and Vayne already was a really strong snowball champion. Was a really strong carry. The big issue with Vayne was that she's very short range, so she can be vulnerable to really aggressive frontline kind of teams. But then, I don't know, I think people just didn't play her because she has a high skill cap. She's kind of difficult. People were playing very aggressive frontline teams that could engage on champions like Vayne. You just, you know, dive right on top of her. Doublelift was really the only guy who played her for a while, and, you know, then he just showed people how incredible she was, I think, and people slowly started picking her up. And, you know, I've talked with a number of people, and for a time it was thought that Doublelift was like the only person who could play Vayne. But now, you know, most people play her. She's very strong. She's generally pretty survivable with her condemn and also with her, you know, little barrel roll.
Yeah. But I will say though that I did end up picking Vayne myself under the recommendation of a friend. You know, just right when I was well, actually, I'm still actually trying to climb out of ELO hell. It just never really seems to end. But you know, Vayne was definitely like one of those champs that helped me get out of like, you know, 1200, 1300. You know, she's still amazingly solid. And like in like AD carry is like one of my least favorite positions. Actually, it is like my least favorite position, right next to AP mid.
As an AD carry, all you need to do is learn how to farm, and you can easily, you know, win games at that level and carry at that level if you just farm successfully. And Vayne's one of those AD carries that if you can farm successfully and just sit there and farm, then at some point in time you're just going to win the game. And, you know, she's a champion that easily picks up quadra and pentakills just because of her raw damage output and chasing power and survivability and whatnot.
I remember I was actually looking at the ELO buff statistics. It's like Vayne and Graves are like the big two.
Yeah, for getting
for pentas.
Pentakills, yeah.
Yeah. Graves is, and you know, Graves is actually still like being really like immensely used.
Yeah, and the big thing with Graves is that it's pretty easy to pick up the first 3 kills, and once you get the triple kill, then you're just chasing people down, and your team can kind of, I don't know, let you have it, or it's easier for you to get it.
So now they're looking for their engage, and ping's going down. Don is actually going to see the entire team make their way in. Xmithie was in that one little lone brush, but that Q will actually let Curse know about his position. Orb in the bush, let them know, get vision with that thing wherever it goes. And successful invade with Curse onto the blue. It's just a matter of what they're going to do with this.
Yeah, so they're actually coming down and
Ooh,
sticking themselves in
nice.
this little nook here. So they're
That,
going to
yeah.
invade for the blue once they hope that Nocturne comes back.
That is a very, very dangerous place to be as well, because that vision. If you're going down that little path, that vision is semi-obscured.
Oh,
But
they see the trail. They know he's there. Oh, he just barely
no!
catches a glimpse of them, backs off.
Wow.
Maybe not. I don't think he actually saw them. He just,
But
realized that
he must have gotten something, because he wouldn't have backed off otherwise. But yeah, this is going to be a successful blue steal for Curse. But I think usually when you get invaded and something like this, though, your gut reaction should just be immediately go to the enemy blue and take that. Take from them what they took from you, and there you go. Ball's actually going to be taking it. I think that was a bit of an accident.
It would have been nice if Mandatory Cloud had gotten it. Nocturne not even going for it, so he's fine.
Yeah.
Saint Vicious is level 2, though, and holy, it's done. How can you survive this? The headbutt into the pulverize. He gets the quick flash, so he is going to be okay.
Force the summoner spell. That is a successful gank. Even if you didn't get the kill, you force the flash, you're good.
Yeah, but look at all that mana spam ability on Balls.
That's a lot of tumbling. That's Tumbler's gonna tumble. That's what Balls is gonna be doing for pretty much the next few minutes.
I mean, the cooldown reduction is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it does give him some spam ability.
Yeah.
He does have a nice little advantage over Cop already. He
Nice.
just keeps on tumbling right at him, and it is actually working out.
Yeah, it's not doing too bad. But, however, the worst possible thing that Balls can actually do with this blue buff is accidentally feed it to Cop. Because if anyone can make more better use out of a blue buff as opposed to Vayne in this situation, it is Urgot.
Yeah,
because Urgot's a very mana hungry guy with a Sona who's actually doesn't Soraka provides the mana, Sona doesn't.
Yeah,
so.
and the Sona is actually a really nice matchup with Cop, and actually he gets a lot of damage. Balls is going to get very low with that buff from Elements. But it's Sona's just an all-around strong champion, and a lot of the reason they picked Sona is probably that they wanted the ultimate. Elements, I mean, he used to only play Sona when he was with CLG.
Really?
And I mean, he played a number of champions. He was known for roaming Alistar. They were one of the first teams to start roaming.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of games where he would play Sona. But that was back when Sona was one of the best champions in the game. And the joke was always that all they need him for is to smash the keyboard and then hit his ultimate. And he couldn't even hit his ultimate. He would always miss the ultimate. But even so, it is a nice lane matchup. Sona does give you a lot of utility. She has a heal for Urgot, so it's kind of like a mini Soraka. You don't have the mana spam. But then you also have a lot of harass damage with the Q, with the power chord, and then you're giving a little bit bonus damage to Cop. So it's like a mix between Janna and Soraka.
The thought of an actual mini Soraka does amuse me, just like little tiny Soraka, kid Soraka. I don't know.
That's what we need. We need big head mode and the Duke Nukem shrink mode.
No, dude. If you got NBA Jam sound files,
coming mid, Mandatory Cloud, the flash
headbutt
into the pulverize.
Oh, and Mandatory Cloud flashes into the headbutt. Will they actually be able to get here? The ignite, the auto tech, yes. First blood on a Nia Jackie. What masterfully done.
Masterfully done. Excellent work, Saint Vicious.
But dude, imagine if you had those NBA Jam sound effects in here. Every time Darius got an ult, just he's on fire. That'd be great.
Yeah. So
Boom shakalaka.
Off for a second.
Saint Vicious getting.
We need some Shaq Fu.
Oh, I am the world champion of Shaq Fu. Don't get me started. I have the shirt in the mail on its way to prove it. And I wish that was a joke. I wish that was
a shirt that says "I am the world champion at Shaq Fu."
I wish that was a joke, but I have actually recently ordered the world champion Shaq Fu shirt. It is actually on the way.
If the shirt says it's true, then
it has to be.
Excellent work, AJ. I'm impressed.
It has to be.
World champ at Shaq Fu. That's
the worst thing ever. That's the worst game to be good at.
I wish I was.
It's impossible.
Oh
god! Now we're just going off on tangents here. Once
but
again,
Nia
Jackie
getting caught out. A little bit of damage from Mandatory Cloud, but he's able to get out of there. And Orianna, you see, Orianna is such a safe lane. She can just throw up her orb, get that movement speed buff, get out of there.
So now you see Curse being extremely aggressive bot lane. The blue buff that was on Balls that has now expired. But you look at the farm too, and it's bang on even. But there is a positional advantage here from Curse. They have warded properly, and look at that lock on. Vayne is a very squishy champ early on. Every single lock on.
Once again, Darius, can you get out of there?
There is a ward. There's a ward. You got the proper protection. Good work
but
on
he
Don.
walked right back up, and he walked into the bush.
Oh, what? You had all the vision you needed. It could have been a little bit better from Curse to actually stack those stuns, but I think that's going to be more than enough damage anyway. Leap strike, something. There you go, West. You
Don,
had the
I've
ward.
been so impressed by the play
You
from
had-
mTw. They've looked so strong.
You
We'll have
had
to,
the
I mean,
ward.
you know, it's just 2 kills, but
Yeah.
he had the ward. St. Vicious just walked into the bush, and then Don was like, okay, I'll just walk right out to lane. So unfortunately, he does go down. Smithy grabs the wolves as a result while he's up there.
It's a nice counter jungling coming in from there. It's nothing huge now, but the thing, the
But
fact
Nocturne
that...
is mid.
Oh, there you go, Smithy right there in mid. Does the Q. Will you get the fear? Will Nightjackie walk the other way? Yes, he will. But you get a little bit out of position there. Nice smite. And nice smite there. You had the vision on the camp from the ward that they placed there previously. He just walks on in. Just, yeah, I took your blue wraith.
Yeah, and it's also the ward not only gave him the blue wraith, but it gave him the security that he could walk over that way and not just die, which,
it's always a good thing.
It's always, yeah, well, depends on the perspective.
Yeah, mandatory. Yeah, it also depends on what team you're on too, and also what team you may possibly be rooting for. Nightjackie though does hit 7 before mandatory cloud. Does have it's got about a half a level lead on the AP mid there. And so we also got top lane, both champs, they are 6. So Jax is going to be a little bit more tanky with the active on the ult, but also he will be dealing a little bit more damage too on those auto attacks every few ones that come about.
Yeah, but I mean, this lane has been pretty even so far. Jax does have an early advantage, and actually going with the MR, instead of like cloth armor, which is interesting, but it makes sense because you think of Darius as a physical bruiser, but a lot of his damage, it's actually magic damage. His Q is physical, I believe. Yes, it is, but his hemorrhage is magic damage, and then his ultimate is true damage. So you're not going to do anything to the ult, but he can go for Merc Treads that'll help protect him a little bit from Alistar.
Yep. So there you go. Balls, Muffin Q doing an okay job of farming, but unfortunately, though, I think St. Vicious Maven's Flight, he did peek out of the bush just for a moment, and I think there was enough vision for mTw, so he does decide to walk back in, and there is a pink ward in that side brush. Nightjackie's going to clear it, and then St. Vicious can actually go ahead and move, so nice coordination there. And Element's looking for a little bit of free harass down onto the Nunu. There are no minions nearby, so he's not gonna have a snack to heal himself up. But right now, everyone's looking to farm. Everyone's looking to do okay. Mandatory Cloud does get past the blue, and right now, Smithy's wandering up towards the top lane.
St. Vicious, every single game, has just been so aggressive with getting fast oracles, and it's been fantastic for the map control. He is coming to the bottom lane. Darius with the pullback on the West Rice will be actually baiting him into the Nocturne ult, and so West Rice going in for this, but doesn't realize that he is playing the
Smithy is here. There is the Q, and there's the dunk. Smithy for all the help. Nocturne didn't even really need to be there.
Really need it.
Yeah, but there you go. You also got Nightjackie and St. Vicious. They're looking for something down here bot lane. The minion wave is not quite pushed up, though, but the shield going down onto Alistar. He gets a headbutt, and the pulverized balls is not in the best position, and there you go. Elements not getting anything off of that ultimate, but still, though, Urgot did manage to get that kill. Muffin Cutie flashing over the wall. The slow from the orb. Mandatory Cloud is here to help, but unfortunately, from the 3-point line, Curse Cotton does get that kill.
Yeah, so they have to watch out for Nocturne and Cassiopeia here, but they are very high health. They can actually take this dragon here. They should be able to get it pretty easily because of the 4v2 advantage, but Smithy, he doesn't want to let them have it. So actually, St. Vicious with the flash in, the headbutt back onto Mandatory Cloud.
So much damage.
Very quickly. The ultimate from Cassiopeia. St. Vicious goes down, but can they get Mandatory Cloud? Yes, he goes down. Now they need the slow.
Nice swap
on Cop, and there is the exhaust chasing down Smithy. One more attack, the double kill for Cop Urgot.
Very well done, Cop. Doing work 4-0-0. No one, he doesn't assist people. The rest of his team assists him, especially right here.
He is the AD carry, so
he is
usually
the AD
that is
carry.
the role of the rest of the team.
I would certainly hope that is usually how most of these games go, but Cop definitely showing some skill there with the
3K
Urgot.
gold advantage 10 minutes in.
That's crazy.
It's just really aggressive play from Curse, which is something that we've started to see come out of them. They used to be the team that was just comfortable with farming for the first 30 minutes of the game, and then, maybe 35 minutes in, force one fight that either wins or loses the game. But Curse, we started to see more early aggression from them. It's characterized by the fact that St. Vicious is getting those fast oracles and just constantly providing them map control. He unfortunately did lose the oracles. So
it did its job, though. It did its job. They definitely made, as a team, the money back on the investment. And when he gets the gold, yeah, he'll just go ahead
And
and get
also,
back in that
Alistar
general
as a
one.
jungler doesn't really need a lot of gold. So,
No.
I mean, you have your ultimate. You're just going to be successful by just using your abilities. So, it's not really that big of a deal.
No, not at all. But granted, that's not.
It would be nice to have, though.
Yeah, it would definitely be nice to have an Oracles right now because that top bush is indeed warded. But still, Don, he's baiting it out. He does recall right in front of the bush, trying to get Alistar here. Can they capitalize on this? And right now, Nocturne, he's trying to do his best. St. Vicious does pop the ult, does manage to get away, but Mandatory Cloud is nearby. Wow, I didn't even realize how weak top tower was for Curse.
It's almost down, and holy, it's done. Just recalling right in front of Alistar.
So brazen.
Yeah, it was kind of funny, but yeah, able to pull them in, not able to pick up a kill there. That actually would have resulted in the tower if they had, but it's still kind of an even lane. Westrace does have this red buff, but even so, the damage from Darius at this point is just really impressive, actually.
Yeah, it is still always a constant threat, the damage from Darius, because remember, you do have the ult that is true damage, and he's going to be getting stacks pretty quickly here on this team. These fights are actually going to be going on for quite a bit, and Curse is starting to build up pretty tanky. I mean, he got the. Hey, look at Urgot. He's got his chain vest. He's got his brutalizer now too.
That's the big issue: is the 4-0 Urgot, who has a double buff and can just absolutely shut down Vane's farm for the rest of this game. And Vane so far has been farming pretty well, but actually a couple more Qs should almost be able to do it.
Nice ult from Elements though, but here comes Nocturne trying to get these kills. Muffin Cutie will go down. Yes, Exhaust going down on the Curse Cop, condemn into the wall. We get a kill on balls. Yes, manages to still get it. But 2 for 1 Elements. Can you get out of here in time? Oriana's not too far behind. Elements is just kill time. Shield. There is the orb. Nice. Onto Nijacki with the ult.
Is coming in right behind Nijacki, and then Elements is also very low. If she can catch both of them, gets a little bit of poison off, needs to throw off the slow. Actually, just barely not being able to cut them off. So Nijacki is able to get out of there.
Very well done. 2 for 1, not too bad. Cop does unfortunately die, but he's pretty fed after that.
Yeah, Cop did go down. The Spree Gold, it went over. Unfortunately, not to Nocturne. It did go over to Vane, but Nocturne did keep the double buffs there, so that's pretty nice. It just would have been nice to get Vane any early snowballing. I mean, that's always a nice thing. Balls has been farming very successfully so far, and he's only slightly behind Urgot, but it's just going to be a very difficult lane for him to survive in from now on, because Urgot can just constantly keep on attacking him, keep on wearing him down with that Q spam harass, and then also the ults. Urgot swap into an Alistar. That's just so disruptive.
That's just mean.
And I think that's what they're setting up for. They're ready to get Cop to 6 and 1. They want to set up the swap into the Alistar Pulverize.
Yeah, that's just downright mean. This is downright like, you thought you were ready. You thought you could flash out of here. You thought you had an escape. No, you're wrong. Not only are you out of position, you're going to be CC'd even more. And remember too, cleanse on Vane, if Balls is managed to is unfortunately on the receiving end of that, cleanse does nothing for you for a pop-up such as the Pulverize.
Or for Urgot swap, which is the bigger issue.
Or that too, yeah. Like that, right there you go.
There it is.
St.
Balls
Vicious
is going to go down. The headbutt into the Pulverize, dropping almost immediately. He gets the flash out, and actually the cleanse, again, it doesn't clear the lock on. And Muffin Cutie is actually very close to going down as well. Is okay, so he's able to get out of there. But Cop, again, just in complete control of this bottom lane.
Smithy is not too far behind, but this is a bad spot for him. Can't do anything about this. Westrace does throw off the stun down onto Don. We'll be able to get out of that engagement top lane, but bot tier 1, Curse is going to grab it up real quick, and Cop is looking so good. It's looking so good.
Yeah, and the thing is that their team is so tanky. Oriana's able to control the mid lane. They have such a tanky core. And Smithy, St. Vicious walking right into him, needs to get the headbutt away, but there's the shield, so the fear does proc, but he's going to be fine. Actually using his ultimate, not quite sure, how many people.
Oh, that's why he wanted to get in on a Mandatory Cloud. Using a flash over, unfortunately, does force the flash for Mandatory Cloud, but Summoners for Summoners is not too bad. Cop's ult is not back up quite yet.
It is almost, though.
It is almost. It is just close enough where they can just go ahead, start pushing the tower. It's weak enough already where they can try and pressure it, but here comes another wave. They can go ahead and do it right here. But
yeah, so Nijacki, he can control the fights pretty well as Oriana, and then having the shield to just pop onto Urgot or pop onto Jax for that, team support is really nice. And so, it's something where we haven't seen Oriana actually working well with many teams recently. Oriana's a champ that seems to get picked in like I don't know, a fourth of all games and always loses. But Darius walking right up to Nijaki. He's probably going to be able to get the pull. There it is in the slow. Nijaki is able to get over that wall. So Holy It's Dawn has to back off. But one attack and one Q, and he goes from full health all the way to half.
Yeah, that is always the threat when going up against Darius. And it's that ult. That ult can just do so much.
And you look cool doing it.
And you look so effing baller.
You know, let's be honest. That's the important thing here.
That's why I want the NBA Jam sound pack. I want that boom shakalaka whenever I do it. Well, actually, I gotta buy Darius first. There's a lot of chance I don't have. But there you go. So Cop and Elements, they realize, hey, Dragon's back up. Might as well go ahead and start taking it. But the thing is, though, mTw, they are nearby. There is the threat here.
Yeah, so actually they are pushed out of position, and actually mTw is going to be going for this, so they should take this pretty easily. And Curse not going to defend it. Jax is top. They recognize, okay, so there's 5 members here. I'm not quite sure who they saw or where they saw them because they don't have very good ward coverage right now, but I'm assuming that they saw them coming through mid. Jax, in the meantime, is able to take down that top turret, so that's an even exchange for them, but they do lose that Dragon. Yeah,
but so the tower for Dragon, it's pretty much an even trade. But here's the thing, though, West Race, he's still top lane. No one's really been up there to contest him on much. You see Darius, he's had a lot of presence in mid. He's trying to put the fear of life into Curse, but all this time West Race is up top lane. He's alone. He's free farming. He's pushing the wave.
Yeah, so we'll see how they can kind of continue with this. Curse should be able to take down this turret. There it is. One more attack.
There you go.
Goes down. They can transition. To where, though, is the question, I guess.
Yeah.
So Curse, they have 3 towers down, but they don't have very good pushing capabilities underneath the turret, so they need to force a fight, which means good map control. Well, they already have good map control. They have the oracles. They have wards all over the place, and Curse actually just trying to find a place. There's Elements dropping a ward. They should be okay, though. They're all grouped here. I mean, if Nocturne wanted to engage on Elements, he would be perfectly fine with that because Vayne is bottom, and the rest of his team is there to back him up.
Yeah, it actually could have been a little bit hairier if Darius actually went out for like one quick hook. Could have actually just taken out some. Oh, Darius maybe caught out a little bit too much here, but Jax should be just fine in the meantime. St. Vicious is actually getting in position to make sure that he is not getting. Oh, nice flash on reaction, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The red buff.
He gets the flash.
There you go. Does get it.
And actually, St. Vicious probably didn't need to use his headbutt there if he had held onto it for a second, because West Race was already killing Darius, basically. All St. Vicious needed to do was wait until Darius flashes, and by using his flash a little bit prematurely, Darius almost got out of there. But, even so, you don't expect that. You just go in for the kill.
It's a flash blown. It's still a flash blown. And now, Curse, they are in a pretty good position. They have the proper ward coverage. Yeah. They can get Baron pretty easy here.
And Jax is one of the strongest champions to take
Baron. Oh, nice flash swap coming in. Mandatory Cloud is in a very bad spot here. Now, now they really can get Baron if they want to, but I think they're just going to try and bait out more members of mTw.
I just want to see real quick, did Cassiopeia flash? Because there was the flash swap, and then...
Yes,
she flashed, yes.
She flashed away from Curse and then ulted away from them.
Yeah, so unfortunate there. She does miss it, but then the rest of Curse, they are in a nice position here. They have the oracles. Alistar trying to see if he can catch anyone off, and they will be able to take the blue and then transition right back up into this Baron. And they can take it very easily.
And granted, now you got to mTw. You're still looking here.
Pulverize, and then Westrice with the follow-up. Balls is very low, has to get out of there. The Nunu ultimate, and Westrice is going down. Xmithie comes in for the kill, and Holy It's Dawn is the only one left in the game. St. Vicious will get out. He goes down, but the rest of mTw, they're actually pretty low, but they are okay. So Muffin Cutie low, Vayne is low, Xmithie was able to get out of there as well, and they stopped the Baron.
They did stop the Baron. They did manage to get successfully, and it was a nice snipe. Nice snipe on Xmithie, pop the ult, just get that last hit onto Jax. That is something that's definitely going to put him a little bit back into favor, but the thing is, though, it's still a 7K gold lead for Curse.
And the Baron was so low, and Curse, they won that fight, so, it's just that they weren't able to finish it off. So Baron was low, they won the fight, everyone was just low, they couldn't finish him off. So if they had just stayed there and actually done the Baron, rather than trying to force that fight, there's a strong chance that it might have forced mTw into a position where, they would just all go down and where they would be pulled into this pit and then die 4v5 against Curse. But even so, Curse, they're happy with their lead. They're just trying to slowly push it.
So Muffin Cutie with the oracles, trying to come back here, looking to clear all the wards over front of the Baron Pit by Curse and trying to establish their vision coverage once again. But alas, St. Vicious, he's got his oracles. He's just going to come in, clear it out there. Speed buff going down as well. Mandatory Cloud is in a bit of a bad spot. You do not want to be caught out again.
Oh, he could hook over this wall, so if anyone comes up, that's kind of a threat. Darius can just hook right over this wall, but they have the vision from Orianna.
Nice attack move there, and keeping it Smithy still not. They wanted Nunu, but they're not going to get him. But Holius Don is still here. He could get a hook, but they don't have the proper vision, though.
Yeah, and so they will back off. I'm a little bit surprised that they used the Orianna ult there for Xmithy. Like, I'm not really sure what it was accomplishing.
I think they wanted Muffin Cutie, but they got Xmithy instead. Because if Muffin Cutie was behind, I think they would have been able to have the position there in order to take out the oracles.
But why would they? I mean, they're on the other side of the wall. Why would getting
no, to actually go
swap him in?
To go around to swap him in.
Oh, okay, well, that's true.
So, but yeah, either way though, Curse, they're done kind of playing cat and mouse. Nice hook over the wall. Jackie's caught out a little bit there, but St. Vicious is there to help save the day. Nice Sona ult, getting the rest of mTw. Cop is actually getting very low in the meantime. He's got a Hexdrinker proc there.
Balls are perfectly fine. The headbutt back on the balls. He is kind of knocked back in the team.
Wow.
Jackie chasing him down now.
You got Curse still in pursuit here, and Balls may actually be able to run away here. Blood Boil gonna go ahead and give him all the speed he needs. 1 for 1. I'm actually surprised. Well, here's the thing though. Cop, he is fed. He has a huge target on his back right now. And mTw, they're just zoning right on in. They want to take him on these fights, and they got it.
Well, it's another 1 for 1 trade, like you said, but they're not engaging on either Cassiopeia or Vayne, and those are the two main damage dealers. Instead, Darius goes down. Yes, he was in the middle of their team, but Jax, Alistar, they have all these AoEs. Why don't they just, dive onto the carries and try and take them out? The issue is that they're kind of skittish right now, and I think they're scared to go through the Nunu ultimate. They're concerned about how that's going to work, and they're concerned about Darius in their back line. I don't know. We'll have to see. But Curse, they do have a 7K gold lead still, so they're still incredibly powerful. It's just that Vayne, each one of these fights is slowly catching up. She still is very far behind. She has yet to finish a major item, and it's 23 minutes in.
Yep. And also keep in mind too, granted, yes, Urgot is actually building tanky. He's got Glacial Shroud. He's also got a Maw. But the thing is though, he's lacking on health, which is what you really want to buy when you want to just try and cancel out true damage. Win Vayne in Darius. So that's really what's
Oh, but he's gonna walk right into it. The ball, so he knows. He knows from the angle that they're just sitting right there. Nocturne throws off the Q to try and get
Don,
vision.
he's
They're
right there
around.
in that bush though, but the ward coverage, it does give up his position. And I think Don, he's just out there. He's playing the bait. And there you go, Orianna ult getting the rest of mTw there. Mandatory Cloud going down extremely quickly. Don, he's in the middle of these fights, but Rest Race and St. Vicious can only do so much on their own, though. Elements does go down. Darius actually does go down with the rest of the fight, and now all of mTw, they're in full retreat. Elements is the only one to go down in that fight, so 1 for 3. There you go.
Darius sitting right in the middle of the team. It took the 3 of them to take him down. He was able to pick up the kill onto Sona, but it's just Sona.
Yeah.
And the big thing is that they were able to focus down the carries. So because they were in the face of both Vayne and Cassiopeia, they're able to win that fight, and they're able to come up to the Baron so they can put some pressure on this and then get the Baron. We'll see. That should be a nice opportunity. Oh, actually, Nocturne coming up, and they get the swap back into the Baron pit. Are able to pick up that kill. So just before that goes down.
So there you go. Curse gonna go ahead and secure the Baron for themselves. Yeah. This happens sometimes. We'll just go back for a second and then rewind and go back forward. So we should just be able to go ahead and grab this Baron real quick and move on with the rest of this game. There's Xmithy coming on in. Nice swap coming from Cop. He was trying to be sneaky. He was trying to get that ward in, but unfortunately, that was not to happen.
Yeah, so we are back to live. They do have the Baron. They are up 9K gold right now. Really nice job from Curse taking control of this game, and I just think they're almost too tanky at this point. And Cassiopeia, she does have a lot of damage output. Vayne can have a lot of damage output with the Blood Boil. That's nice, but again, Vayne, hasn't finished an item still. It's 26 minutes in. There it goes, a 26-minute Bloodthirster. So, Urgot just absolutely decimating that bottom lane.
Yeah, that's not. When do you ideally want a Bloodthirster? Just for a point of reference.
Ideally, you want a 10-minute Bloodthirster.
Ideally.
That's, that's a really good situation.
Average would be like...
average, if you're expecting to farm at a normal rate, then you can get a Bloodthirster easily in the first 20 minutes. Like, Bloodthirster, you usually expect to have an Infinity Edge around 22 minutes. In a normal game, like if you're not getting kills or anything like that, and Bloodthirster, you're supposed to get it like around 18 minutes or something like that. So it's fine, to get it later. It's just, she's just a little bit behind. So she has the 2 Dorans as well. She has the Zeal. The Zeal is really, partially what puts it back, but we'll have to see. They can push in very easily here. Urgot can get a swap to force the fight. They probably don't want to fight underneath the turret, so they're just kind of slowly push in. But Mandatory Cloud can clear the waves pretty easily, so that's something they have to worry about.
The Baron buff has a little bit over 2 minutes left on it, so there are plenty of opportunities they can grab in that time. The creep wave is still here, pushing on up. They've taken to tier 2 and mid, and Curse can continue the push, possibly make some pressure on the tier 3. Jump over the wall. Westrice wants something crazy and then just jumps right back over.
He was actually hooked from
he was hooked.
Darius.
He was hooked.
Yeah. So really nice play from Darius, trying to pick it up, but the dodge from Jax, and he's able to get out of there. It might have been an opportunity for mTw to engage and force a kill onto Jax, but they're a little bit concerned. They recognize that they're behind right now and don't really want to fight, so they didn't really pursue it that aggressively. They could have had like a condemn from Vayne and Cassiopeia for some damage. So he gets out of there. They will be able to pick up the second turret and then just keep on moving around the map.
Curse pushing down the bot tier 2. It's no big deal. It's no big problem. And that they still got a good minute 30 on their Baron buff as well. They got plenty of time to even take a tier 3 at this point. Westrice can actually, like, if he really wants to, split off, split pushing top or mid.
I'm actually kind of surprised that they don't do that. I think they're a little bit concerned that if they split off, then they're going to lose a 5v4. And Nocturne can engage a fight from almost any distance. That's the big issue, is that Nocturne can engage a 5v4. Jax could split push because he can beat almost anyone 1v1, but Curse is very concerned. Actually, the swap with Darius, and Darius with the pull as well, and there's the ultimate. They actually back out of there, so Curse wants to get out of there. The ultimate from Orianna, though, they just barely pick up the kill into Muffin Cutie, so they do back off, though. So really nice play from them. They have the regen. They're able to get out of there. Yeah, it was the hook and the ultimate at the same time, canceling each other out.
I learned something today.
I actually don't even think the hook canceled the ultimate. I think that the
animation didn't finish. I don't think it didn't cancel. I think he still got the armor bonus,
but
Shurelya's though.
Vicious. There's the Shurelya's as well. The pulverized headbutt back on Mandatory Cloud. He drops really quickly. Westrice in the middle of the team gets out of there, and Curse has picked up another kill. They pick up the turret. They pick up the inhibitor with Mandatory Cloud down. They're tanky enough. They could consider going after this Nexus. I think they will transition into the mid lane.
Yep, Curse. The now Baron buff is gone, so should be back. Baron should be back in about 3 minutes. But however, there is a huge wave from mTw pushing down top tier 2. So everyone's a little bit split, but you know what? They got a lot of money. They can go ahead, go back, spend, and also go defend. And there you go. There's a GA, Guardian Angel, onto Cop. So even if he does get focused down, he's going to be on the back line, and he should be fine. That's a nice little insurance plan for the Urgot.
Yeah, but the issue right now for mTw is just trying to stall to get Vayne farmed, and once she finishes the Phantom Dancer, she's going to be a little bit stronger. She has the natural built-in damage. The Blood Boil, again, does help. If they can stall the fights a little bit longer. Cassiopeia really needs to finish the Rapidons, though, and Curse, they're starting to itemize into a little bit more tanky items, and that's just because they're so far ahead of mTw that mTw, they still don't have enough damage, and they can't itemize into tankiness yet. So we'll see if Cassiopeia can finish the Rabadons and the Phantom Dancer goes on to Vayne, then they should be okay. They should be able to hold off a fight. It's just that Curse is so tanky right now. Jax is so much damage.
They're so fat.
Urgot has so much damage. They're so fat.
They are so fat. They are the fattest team I've ever seen. Well, actually, from what I understand, from what everyone's been saying about Cop on Twitter, and they've been going up to dinner a lot. But then again, they're also fat in gold in the wallet, 15K lead. But then again, well, I'm a pretty good commentary on what is and isn't fat. I am pretty big myself.
There's no reason for that to enter the commentary.
Well, hey, you know, people.
I mean, if you're fine
I'm sure.
with it, that's fine.
Dude,
No, but
every
Westreich's
single.
coming in, there's actually the ult as well. They just back off, so they're going to be able to take this, get out of there. There's a little bit of a shield for them.
Dude, every single time we post videos, every time we have most streams, there's always like one jerk in chat. It's like, you know, fat person, fat person, fat person. I'm an expert. I should know. I should know.
All right, well, there you go. So,
Curse taking top tier 3,
it,
and you know they can go ahead. They have so much pressure here, even without the Baron buff. They can just pressure in this inhib top as well. And Smithy does get locked on. There's a lot of free damage from Cop going on there, and that GA is just so threatening. It's just like mTw. They now have a reason to not focus down Cop because he's just going to be coming back into the fight.
Yeah, and they can back off. You know, 2 inhibitors down. Baron should be up shortly. That actually might be, I guess that's where they're going. So,
yep.
You know, Baron, they can grab that. It's looking dire for mTw right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll really just kind of see what happens next game. But if they win one fight, they can, you know, get back in this. You start getting later and later in the game.
And
but
Muffin Cutie gets caught, and I think that's going to be sealing the deal here.
Oh, and the flash swap from Cop, always a nice thing to see.
Mandatory Cloud going to get focused down. It was a pretty damn good ult from Cassiopeia considering the situation, but it's still not going to be enough. Curse, they've pretty much secured a Baron here, and with this, they can just go ahead and push on in for the win. Nocturne trying to go in because, you know, that's why there's a surrender coming on in. And despite the fact that we're just watching Smithy just kind of standing there, for some reason camera didn't go into Nexus. But there you go, game 1 going to be going to Curse. One more, and they will be resetting the bracket.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they will get the reset. You know, we'll see if mTw can turn it around or if Curse can turn this into a second set. But yeah, really nice play from Curse. Really nice aggression early on. And 8-minute oracles from St. Vicious. They, you know, gank from mid and St. Vicious coming down with the Orianna and Alistar around like 6 minutes on the bottom lane, diving the bottom turret.
Yep.
You know, just really nice play.
You know what?
It was like a 6-minute dive on bot that turned into a dragon for them.
It was. It was not too bad. But you know what? We do recognize that it is getting a little bit late, probably on the East Coast, and you know, it's around like 11 o'clock right there right now. So how about this? We'll go to a quick commercial, really quick commercial, and then we're going to come back right on in. Game number 2, mTw.NA and Curse. This is Grand Finals. We'll be back in just a moment.
Oh, right. That's my cue.
Yeah, it is.